Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR MyCareer mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we take on the Darlington Raceway Southern 500 here in South Carolina, and it's going to be an exciting one now, an early rookie season challenge at the Too Tough to Tame track. In my opinion, the most difficult oval on earth. We're coming off of a surprise win last episode in Atlanta with Sterling Marlin picking up the victory now, as it will see if we'll see the trend continue here this weekend in Darlington, or will we return to kind of some more normalcy with the winners now. Only one way to find out, and it starts with getting practice underway here now on Friday afternoon here now. And yeah, I still don't know, by the way, how to get rid of the practice line. It must have been a mod previously that allowed me to get rid of it, because it's now here and I can't get rid of it. But nonetheless, yeah, I mean, overall in this Motorcraft number 21 Ford Taurus, pretty happy right off the bat with the speed and the handling of the car, and I feel like we have just been able to really grind out these races and get a lot better results lately than we kind of expected, mainly because of the fact that we have simply just been staying out of trouble, and that's kind of been the secret sauce, basically. Stay out of trouble, and also don't do anything too crazy on strategy, and it seems to kind of bite you if you get a little bit off strategy. So that's been another thing for us now, as well as just, yeah, kind of keep things simple, kind of stick with the majority of the field here now, as, yeah, we were pretty all right in practice. Our first 3 laps were pretty quick. The last 2 weren't that quick, but we were also kind of stuck there behind the Miller Lite Dodge of the number 2 there of Rusty Wallace. Now as we come through into qualifying at this point with a goal of a 29.889, as we sail it off down into turn number 1 and climb the banking up towards the red and white striped wall here, as we throttle up in the center of the corner, trying to carry this momentum off turn 2 all the way down that back straightaway in towards turn number 3. A very momentum-based kind of corner and straightaway there in 1 and 2. And as we exit turn number 4, coming to the start-finish line here, it's going to be a pretty competitive lap now with a 29. Hold on, no, it's going to break into the 30s, a 30.097. So a little bit off what I was hoping, but still top 20 in the top half of the field. P19 here from this Darlington Southern 500. Jeff Burton, they're going to be starting P18 just in front of us now. Looking at the rest of the top 10, how about Dale Jr. on pole over Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, Bill Elliott, and Greg Biffle round out the top 5. Rest in peace, of course, Greg Biffle, as you see the rest of your qualifying order there. 10th place, Tony Stewart. And yeah, feeling overall pretty confident coming into this race when we have some top 20 qualifying speed now, as we see at the bottom of the grid there, Ken Schrader as well as Jack Sprague. So let's get ready to go racing here Sunday afternoon, or I say afternoon, no, it's the sun's already gone down. It's pretty well nighttime here from Darlington, so Sunday evening we're getting ready to go racing here from this Darlington Raceway for this Southern 500. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Started to kind of turn his season around last episode in Atlanta, and he looks to continue with that here in Darlington now, as he'll be starting up front. His teammate of Steve Park, well prepared for the race. Watch out for that Pennzoil number 1 Chevrolet Monte Carlo to have some speed as well. As we carry on through the night now. Not a great starting position for Steve Park, so yeah, we'll be curious to see what he can do and how far forward he can really rally here as we get ready to go racing in Darlington. Green flag is out and we're underway. That number 1 of Park starts directly behind us. Dale Jr., Kevin Harvick lead the field to green. This race in real life was a iconic finish that's still played to this day. The finish between Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch at Darlington 2003. Will we repeat history? Will we have some kind of finish like that here tonight? Only time will tell here as we head down this back straightaway now, settling in behind the number 15 of Michael Waltrip. A bit of a DEI sandwich here of the 15 and the 1 behind us right there. We've got a lot of racing here tonight. 128 laps. It's going to be, one of the longest races of the season outside of the Coca-Cola 600. This is the longest race, so it's going to be all about patience and, yeah, I mean, kind of, like we already said, not screwing up the strategy as well is going to be very important, because if you screw it up, you're going to be in for a kind of long and miserable night, and I really don't want that here. And you can already see kind of a split up there in the field. Somebody's up there that's kind of backing up, and I believe it's the 16 fellow Rookie of the Year competitor there of Greg Biffle in that Roush Ford. So we'll wait and see, but I'm pretty sure he is definitely, it looks like from here he's backing up. So right now as well, Dale Jr. really didn't keep the lead long at all. It's already gone over to the number 9 of Bill Elliott. Now Elliott was so close to winning in Iowa that second race on the season. Obviously didn't quite work out there. He would love to get to victory lane now as he takes the lead early on and tries to run away now, and Kevin Harvick has settled into P2 after getting around the number 8 of Dale Jr. as well. Here comes Steve Park. We know that number 1's got some speed here tonight, and he's going to cruise by me into turn 1, and here comes the 88 of Dale Jarrett, and as well we got the 31 there of Robbie Gordon that would get past me. So I would jump back down to the inside after the 31 got through, and we got back in front of the 1 of Steve Park, who had actually migrated up to the outside here. Now we got Terry Labonte in the number 5, and yeah, just kind of, you want to be on the bottom here, just rolling, especially when the pack is like this, kind of stacking up behind a slower car of that 16 of Greg Biffle. So we're just being patient, like I said. I mean, we got 128 laps, there's no stages to worry about. We don't have any points that we got to go chase. Now as Labonte's going to force a 3 wide on the inside. We talk about patience. Well, the 5 has none of it, and we come together with him in the 10 of Johnny Benson as well. And fortunately, it didn't turn into an incident, but we lose some ground and drop down to P22. And now we have to try and rally our way back forward here as we'll settle into 22nd, just in front of Michael Waltrip. We're very quickly going to get right up to the back again of the 10 of Johnny Benson. There's Greg Biffle again as well. We had previously gotten past him, and now we're going to have to repass him, but fortunately it's a super easy overtake that we're going to get done on the 16. We'll just continue back to the outside, and yeah, I think it really just a bit of a miscommunication there with the 5 now, as I thought I had the bottom pretty well covered, and the 5 just kind of came along and pushed his way through a little bit. So I was a bit surprised by that, but nonetheless, I mean, we continue to kind of go forward again and pass that number 10, and now we're running up to the back of the 97 of Kurt Busch, who's kind of struggling as well. Another Roush car not looking so great here tonight under the lights, and we're going to pass him on the top. When I can pass you on the top of 3 and 4, that is a sign that you do not have a good car. It's not about how good my car is. No, it means you don't have a very good car in general. Now as we, though, come to lap 13 here, we are running down the number 2 Penske Dodge of Rusty Wallace as well, as we're closing in already towards green flag pit stop territory. But look how quick we're getting up to the back of this number 2. I mean, it's going to be, should be a pretty easy pass to complete on Rusty Wallace. We would very briefly, after getting to the back of him, actually now have to follow him past the 19 of Jeremy Mayfield. Nearly some contact right there on the exit of turn 2 as we head down the back straightaway, but fortunately, going down into turn 3, we should be able to complete this pass here. Hopefully now it's going to be close, but right there the momentum just kind of shifts in the middle of the corner into this 21 car, but we slide up into the onside wall, and here comes Johnny Benson in that Valvoline Pontiac again there. He's going to pass us down this front straightaway into turn number 1. Benson just been kind of lurking there now, and as we kind of go for a slide in turn 1, now here comes Michael Waltrip, so we can just been kind of hovering around this like 20th place area right now, and honestly looking for some adjustments. I want to kind of tighten up the car, because you can see right there off turn 4, lap 19, the car just goes for a bit of a slide, and that's kind of the big issue I was dealing with, and we should be able to find a pretty easy solution by just putting up the wedge a few clicks. Should be enough. But green flag pit stops now well underway. Kevin Harvick's come in. We've moved up into P14, and the leader now of Bill Elliott in that number 9, who's dominated the first 20 laps of this race. Now he makes his way into the pit lane, and will relinquish that to the 12 of Ryan Newman. As for myself, we are going to pit right here at the conclusion of lap 21. Bit of a slide right there into the pit entry, but we get in no problems as the number 9 comes in for service.
Bill Elliott is in for his first stop tonight. 4 tires, no changes needed on the 9 car so far, guys.
You hear the report on that Dodge, sponsored number 9 Dodge for that Ray Evernham team now, as Jeff Burton comes in just in front of Bill Elliott, and we're going to come in for service moments later here to get 4 tires and as well 2 cans of fuel. Solid 15.8 second pit stop now, hoping of course for no cautions. Looks like we're going to cycle through this whole green flag cycle without really any issues now, as we get back on the racetrack now and can kind of focus in now. The 18 of Bobby Labonte going to be one of the last drivers to make his green flag pit stop. Now gives up the lead to the 25 of Joe Nemechek. He should be the last one to pit, and sure enough, he comes in. We now unlap ourselves. So as we come back around through 1 and 2, we'll really see in about a lap from now, of course, where we truly cycle out here in this running order. But, I mean, we're going to be around P20. I can confirm I did put up the wedge a little bit as well. So that goes up to about 50.0 I was running at to go into this new run here. So I'm hoping that just on the long run, it's going to snug up this number 21 Motorcraft Ford Taurus a little bit. But we would eventually cycle out into P21, having to run down Jeremy Mayfield and pass him again. These guys that pitted all earlier than me. So we are going to have to repass them now. But look at the track map now as we're passing the 19 and lap 26. Bill Elliott is exiting turn 2 right now. He's only about half a straightaway, maybe just a little bit more behind me. So we are not far from going a lap down. So what I want to see is a caution sometime within the next probably 5 laps or so as we're running down the number 2 of Rusty Wallace. Wallace struggling for some speed here on that Miller Lite Dodge here for Penske Racing this weekend now. And Elliott's gotten even closer as we have just 100 laps to go still in this race. Now looking to the left rear of this number 2. We'll get to his door now. We should be able to pass this 2 pretty easily. Yeah, Wallace just does not have the speed. Elliott does, however, and that number 9, he is flying, and he is getting closer and closer as even myself has now worked our way into some lap traffic here. You got Jack Sprague, you got Mike Skinner. They're all going laps down now for a position right there in front of us. Mark Martin not having a great night either. Bobby Labonte just in front of him. Bill Elliott is within a couple of seconds at this point. Caution right now would be really nice. Please give me a caution as we're reeling in this Viagra number 6, and there it is. Dale Jr. sliding through 3 and 4 off the corner. Around he goes, and that Budweiser Chevrolet, and the caution comes out. Thank you, as we are going to see very interesting strategy here. Some drivers are electing to stay out, including the leader of Bill Elliott. We are going to pit, and the majority of drivers do come into the pits, and we are going to take 4 tires in field. Dale Jr. is still in the race. He loses 12 spots with the tire going down and bringing out the yellow, but Bill Elliott will remain in the lead of the race, but now he's going to be on different strategies. So as we go back green, what did we talk about at the beginning of the episode? Different strategies don't seem to work out very well in this career mode so far, and Bill Elliott and a few others have decided to do that. And I don't think that's going to work out, but only time will tell. But they are going to have to pit earlier than all of us that just pitted, of course. And then if a caution comes out in between that and when we pit, that's all it takes to trap them a lap down. And Bill Elliott suddenly finds himself, instead of, dominating this race, now he's in a fight to get back on the lead lap and get that free pass. So we'll see how it works out, but I just don't see it working out very well based off the trends of these first few races that we've had anyways now. 93 laps to go in this race, so I mean, even if you do go a lap down and the speed of that number 9, there's still a lot of racing left, so I wouldn't really be too concerned for Bill Elliott specifically, but just about everybody else I would be. But we're going to try and take advantage here on these opening laps of this restart, because we know that Elliott and several others are now on older tires, and therefore they're going to be significantly slower. Darlington tires wear super fast, so you always want tires in Darlington, and you can see immediately the differences now as we are able to just jump to the inside, and we're making some serious time. Actually, I had a bit of contact with the 10 there of Johnny Benson, but just by riding this inside line, we were making up some good ground now, passing the 88 there of Dale Jarrett. Mark Martin there in P15 going in the wrong direction. I believe he was one of the drivers that stayed out. And now we're going to kind of try to make him pay for it now, but here comes Dale Jarrett back to my inside, so he is going to pass us now. Kevin Harvick to the lead, one of the first drivers on tires, has gotten out in front, so Harvick's going to look to drive away. 1 win on the season so far for the number 29, and of course that was stealing it in overtime in Iowa. Now the closer, of course, what he's known for, and well, he was really proving that here in the career mode so far. Now as we continue to race hard there with the 10 of Johnny Benson, actually had a bit more contact with him on the exit of turn 2, but finally to the inside of the 6 Viagra Ford of Martin, and we'll pass him through 1 and off of turn 2. Michael Waltrip as well. We're going to look to the inside of him, And you know what? Let's go for it. 3 wide into turn number 3 on the inside of Jarrett and Waltrip, 2 veterans of the sport. We'll pass them both here in one corner, and into P14 we go, sliding up across the nose of the number 15 Napa Monte Carlo, and we would start to drive up to now 13th position of Jamie McMurray. As here we go, I see Steve Park coming in. He's one of the fast cars that actually stayed out as well, and now he has to pit, and we're about to see the pit lane get flooded with several cars right here, Matt Kenseth included. There's Bill Elliott I can see coming in as well. So now that's going to move us just about into the top 10, and all those guys that have pitted are now desperately hoping we stay green for another 10 to 15 laps or so, as I thought there was about to be some trouble right there between Jerry Nadeau and McMurray, but there is trouble. Caution comes out here from Darlington, and it's an engine or tire issue on, I believe that's Tony Raines, where we saw the smoke coming out of, and the caution is out, and Kurt Busch is the first driver a lap down. Michael Waltrip had just hit the pit lane at the time of the caution, so he's the last driver on the lead lap, but he can stay out and go to the lead. Everybody else on the lead lap's pitting. Other drivers a lap down. It's kind of split. Bill Elliott's going to stay out, but because of the fact that Waltrip was on the lead lap when that caution came out, it means that nobody can take the wave around, and now Michael Waltrip is out in front of this field, and Kurt Busch was the free pass. Bill Elliott is trapped a lap down. Steve Park, who we know has speed, and several other drivers, Matt Kenseth as well, they all have to race their way back into a free pass position, and it's going to be hard because we don't know how many cautions we're going to get. We know Bill Elliott's probably going to be the favorite to get the free pass at the time of the next caution. But as we go back green here, we find ourselves in P13, and like we said earlier, you know, just by not being silly on the strategy and kind of going with the majority, it keeps us in a way better position than what we probably should be. And we're really putting that to light again here tonight in Darlington now, as we're about a 20th place car and we're running top 15 as Johnny Benson gets to my inside. Johnny Benson, same boat as me, honestly, now, as we continue to race hard with him in that number 10, the 2 of Rusty Wallace. Not a lot of speed in that Miller Lite Ford, or Dodge. I keep wanting to say Penske Ford because of current day NASCAR, but yeah, he's not got a lot of speed, but he is at least holding his own pretty well up here as we continue heading down this front straightaway now. Lap 55 already, but still 74 laps of racing to go. Kevin Harvick returns to the lead in the Richard Childress Goodwrench Monte Carlo, as now here comes Steve Park. That's not for position, and that number 1 actually got into my left rear, did Steve Park, and into the wall we go on the exit of the corner, and through goes Kenseth. Here comes Labonte now as well. That's another driver a lap down as well. The 88 of Dale Jarrett, another driver trapped 1 lap down. Behind me, you can see directly behind us a big red blob. That's the number 9 of Bill Elliott, who's not in a free pass position, and he was losing ground for the free pass position to Steve Park and Matt Kenseth. However, we have now kind of started to group up in front of these, in front of us. You've got Michael Waltrip kind of backing up the field, as he doesn't have a lot of speed in that number 15, as Tony Stewart now goes to the lead, and here comes Jeff Gordon to the inside. Jeff Gordon, that was for position, so Jeff Gordon must have had a bad pit stop or something, because obviously he is on the lead lap, but well behind us on that restart. So as we continue forward, trying to get through this kind of slowed up group of cars, this is allowing Bill Elliott to get himself into a free pass spot, and actually it's not the 15 of Michael Waltrip that's backing these guys up. It's a similar colored car, but it's actually the 2 of Rusty Wallace that's backing this field up. So it's completely changing the complexion for the free pass battle, and it's putting it in favor of the number 9 of Bill Elliott, who is about to be in a free pass position. And as we come through on the lap 64, you can see we're all kind of just stuck here right now as we're battling for position with Jamie McMurray, and I watched Jeff Gordon jump up to the outside, and I'm seeing the momentum kind of shift here. Wallace has been kind of just trapped on the bottom and not really doing anything, and the cars on the outside have slowly been getting a little bit closer to clearing the 2 cars. So the 10 of Johnny Benson would clear Wallace into turn 1, and I said, okay, it's time to jump up. Elliott's going to go clear him. Elliott's now in the free pass spot. Jeff Gordon's going to follow suit as well, so I said, I got to be up here right now so we can get past this 2 of Wallace, and this would put us into P13. Off turn 4, lap 66, peeking at the right rear of that number 2. He's going to actually be very gracious there and and leave the ground open for myself. So as we head off into turn 1, he'll be able to clear me, but the goal is right here, center corner, carry that momentum through the corner, and as we get to the exit of turn 2, we'll clear that Miller Lite Dodge and move our way back forward. And then shortly thereafter, actually some big contact with the 6 of Mark Martin into turn 1, and that would put us into the outside wall, and that would unfortunately put the 2 back in front of me, so we're gonna have to pass him again. Then we had contact with Kenseth off of turn 2, and Darlington for a rookie, it's not an easy experience, and we are certainly proving that here now as Kenseth even goes for a slide in turn 3 as well. So we would drop back down to P14. We're gonna have to repass the 17. I don't know if we have the speed to do that, but if he's still trapped behind the 2, then we definitely can. But we as well are gonna have to go past that 2 car now. 60 laps to go, less than half the race remains. Now Kenseth to the inside of the 2, around goes the 24, Jeff Gordon. Big crash there, I dive down to the apron to avoid it, and Jeff Gordon's night is over. Caution is out, everybody to the pits, and the free pass goes to the number 9 of Bill Elliott. Now Matt Kenseth will be in the next position to do so if he can hold off Dale Jarrett to Bobby Labonte and others as well as we get ready to go back green. We just got our own bit of chaos, and then Jeff Gordon's night comes to an unfortunate end, and that number 24 is it's Tony Stewart and Robbie Gordon who lead the field to green. Robbie Gordon having a great race. He's had a few great efforts to start the season in that Richard Childress number 31 now, and here he is fighting up here in the mix now tonight in the Darlington Too Tough to Tame Speedway. And as we head down the back straightaway, Rusty Wallace was so slow behind me on the restart that I had a lot of room going into turn 3 as I knocked down the wall again. We are hitting the wall quite a bit here tonight in Darlington, but you know what, we're a rookie, we're learning, and as we continue behind Benson and McMurray, we'll look at fellow rookies. Look at Jamie McMurray, myself and him both having great runs here now as we're to the inside of Jeff Burton, trying to follow Johnny Benson, and Johnny Benson as well, really having a competitive day in this number 10 Valvoline Pontiac as well. And well, I didn't really plan on taking him 3 wide, but he kind of checked up in the middle of the corner, and he's going to fight back though down the front straightaway. He's actually going to re-clear me into turn 1, and I would get stuck behind him for a little bit until lap 82. I finally get a good run to get alongside him on the exit of turn 4 as Robbie Gordon is now leading this race. He's taken the lead from Tony Stewart, and now he is looking for his second career win. Of course, he won back in 2001 at New Hampshire, and if he could pull it off here tonight, he would be now a 2-time Cup Series winner as we clear Johnny Benson, move ourselves up into P11, and shortly thereafter, lap 84, we have run down Jamie McMurray and are within a few car lengths at this point now. As I look behind me and I see that free pass battle, it looks like it's going in favor of the number 1 of Steve Park at this current point. Now as he's right behind us a lap later on lap 85, looking to the right rear of that Chip Ganassi Racing 42 of Jamie McMurray, and we'll roll the outside through 3 and off of turn 4, try to carry the momentum. Had to check up right there, so we're going to be pretty dead even with this 42 down the front straightaway. McMurray not wanting to give this up. 2 rookies battling for a top 10 in Darlington. Doesn't get much more intense than that early on in our careers, but we catch the outside wall, and here comes the number 10 of Johnny Benson again, back up my inside. So I feel like it doesn't matter where we've run tonight, the 10 of Johnny Benson just finds himself in the conversation, and then I decide to wall myself one more time for good measure and completely destroy this run as we drop down to P12, and we're a little ways behind the cars in front. Fortunately, we would run them down still, and we got back to Jamie McMurray here on lap 88, and we've got some good speed, but now the caution's out once again here tonight, and it's issues for Bill Elliott. Smoke pouring out of the back of the number 9. Caution is out for the fastest car here tonight, who just got back on the lead lap. Now fortunately for Elliott, that will not be a race ender, so he'll come in just like the rest of us, take tires and feel, and he'll get back into the race and still be on the lead lap and still have an opportunity to work his way forward here on these closing laps. As the green flag is back out, we have got 24 laps of fuel in this car. Well, we got still quite a few laps of racing to go, over 30 laps still, 37 laps, which however does make this pretty straightforward. This is a one-stop race. All we got to do is get within the final 24 laps of racing. We can pit from that point on. We'll be able to make it to the end. So we just got to drive 13 laps before a pit stop now. So things have become very straightforward here as we head off into turn number 3. How about Dave Blaney up my inside as for the 19th time tonight? inside. I catch the outside wall. I mean, I've just been overdriving this car all night long, and here comes Rusty Wallace up my inside here as we go down this front straightaway now. 36 laps to go at this point, and Robbie Gordon continues in the lead of this race. Into the back of the 2 of Wallace, he slides, he spins. Is he going to save it? No, he won't. Caution's going to come out, and I've completely dumped a NASCAR legend of Rusty Wallace. He is not going to be happy about that. Please apologize to the 2 team. That was absolutely not my intentions. He was just so slow. I did not expect it. My apology was forwarded to the number 2 team, but I mean, absolutely not what I was trying to do right there. And the 2's been slow all weekend, and in the center of the corner, he just checked up, and well, I was right on the back of him, and I turned him around, and there he is to my outside now as we go back racing into turn number 1. And fortunately, you know, he's not a rival, so he's not going to attempt to ruin my day. But yeah, definitely not what I wanted to do right there to the number 2 of Wallace. And we've done a really good job this season of, you know, so far as a rookie, not getting in over our head and doing anything stupid. But right there, that was a bit over the top, and I just got too aggressive, and I turned around that number 2. So I really wish that didn't happen. But you know, what can you do at this point now? You just got to keep going forward and do what you can, basically, and make sure we hopefully finish ahead of that number 2 car now. As I mean, we continue to get close quarters racing here with the number 9 of Bill Elliott to my outside. Like, the slightest contact with these guys on these career mode settings that I'm using sends them for that kind of slide off into the corner. It's really annoying, but I mean, there's not much you can really do about it. It's just the way NASCAR Heat 5 is. Like, a tiny contact will send them for that big slide, and it's really prevalent at a track like Darlington. Richmond as well is a track that's notorious for that, and Iowa as well. Those 3 tracks are probably the worst for that. So here comes now Steve Park to my inside. He's another driver that's back on the lead lap, so he's passing us. Bill Elliott's heading forward in the right direction with 28 laps to go in this race. We're still not in the field window, but we are mighty close at this point now. We just got to get to lap 105 is kind of that number. Get to 105, and you can pit anytime you want now. Caution's out again for Tony Raines as he's got a tire down, and the caution flies. Everybody stays out, and we immediately get ready to go back racing. It's been a bit of a caution-filled night here from this Darlington Raceway now, and as we take the green flag once again, it's going to be, actually, we could have pit right there because we would have been able to make it to the end. It's 23 laps to go, but nobody pits, so what do we already talked about, right? Kind of do what the majority do, and everybody, it was literally everybody stayed out right there. So we're going to stay on the racetrack and kind of continue to follow strategy as Robbie Gordon continues to lead, and he's just hoping that the 9 of Bill Elliott doesn't get up there, because I think if Bill Elliott does get up there, it's going to be very hard for that 31 to hang on. Actually, I can see from here the 31's got some pressure now. I believe that's Ryan Newman who's up the inside of him as they head down this front straightaway in towards turn 1. Mark Martin to my inside here. The 77 of Dave Blaney just behind again. Now I'm trying to keep it off the wall, and we're about to have a new leader. I think it is, in fact, the 12 of Newman, but it was pretty short-lived because the 31 would get himself back out in front and in control of this race. So it's all Robbie Gordon here now as I'm starting to think about the green flag pit stop, and I am completely open to pitting on the short side of things here in this final run and come in, you know, maybe 2, 3, 4 laps earlier than the majority of these lead lap drivers. Don't really care about what the lap cars are doing, of course, but looking to maybe come in here within the next few laps and get a little bit off strategy, and it's going to be a pretty straightforward pit stop for us. We're going to simply take half a can of fuel, and then we're going to take no tires. It's just going to be, we're going to be stopped for 4 or 5 seconds, if that, and then we're going to get back out on the racetrack here now as we come up behind the number 42 of Jamie McMurray, back up into P14 at this point. It's been such a back and forth race for us here from Darlington Raceway now, but now to lap 116 at this point. You can see I've gone a little bit longer than I had originally kind of planned, as I didn't want to, I was kind of trying to make sure like we're not going to get a caution. It's obviously kind of hard to predict, but as we now come to lap 117, to the inside, this is going to put us into P13 here, so another spot gain now as this little Rookie of the Year battle continues on, as it's going to be a fun battle to watch all season long. But now we're coming to the closing 10 laps of this race, and I feel like now it's kind of like, okay, let's come in. We got 4 laps to feel with 10 coming to 9 laps to go. I think now is the time. So we're going to come in and get our, second set of green flag pit stops right at the end of this race. The first run was a green flag pit stop. The last run looks like it's going to be green flag pit stops, but we are going to come in for simply a splash of fuel and no tires. Half a can will give us 6 laps, so that by the time we come to the line here, it'll be 9 laps to go, so we'll have 9 laps to feel. We'll barely be able to make it now, so it's going to be a 4.2 second stop. I expect the AI are going to take more than I did. They're probably going to take a full can, and as we come out, Robbie Gordon, the leader, is coming in front of Tony Stewart, as well as Newman and Harvick.
Robbie Gordon is in from the lead for his final stop. No tires, but gas and a slight wedge adjustment to free up the car.
Robbie Gordon looking real strong in the late goings. He's going to exit that pit box in the number 31 just in front of the 20. He should keep the lead of this race as we, by taking only half a can of fuel, are going to gain some serious track position. Into P9, we're going to pass Jimmy Johnson for 8th. Dale Jr. in the number 8 there for the Budweiser Monte Carlo. We'll pass him. We're into P7. How about that? By taking less fuel than everybody else, we're going to move up into P7. Now, I'm not sure if they took tires. I know they took more fuel than I did, but did they take tires? We don't need tires on that pit stop to make it to the end, so I am not convinced they took tires. And as we are coming to 3 laps to go, Dale Jr. is closing, but he's not closing very much, so it's looking pretty good. We should be able to hang on to a top 10 here now as Robbie Gordon continues to lead, and he's in pretty well full control of this race in these final 3 laps. Now Dale Jr. within now a good 3 car lengths or so he's probably gonna have a chance to get me here in these final couple of laps. Now as we exit turn 2, we hit the bump and into the outside wall, crashing into the inside wall. Caution's gonna fly here in Darlington. Overtime because of my own mishap. And you see the damage. We're gonna have to pit to fix up the car. It's pretty well destroyed. 10 seconds of repairs in NASCAR heat, that's pretty significant. We're gonna have to come in and fix this up for overtime. We're gonna take 4 tires and fuel, and I just made a catastrophic error as we were about to finish this thing off with the top 10 as a rookie in Darlington, and now we're down to 22nd. Now it's Robbie Gordon out in front. We have seen the drivers leading in overtime lose a few times this season, and here we go, NASCAR overtime. It's Gordon and Elliott the front row. Bill Elliott back up to P2, and I had a really slow get-go right here down into turn number 1. Gordon's already cleared. Usually when we're talking about Gordon, it's Jeff Gordon up front. Jeff Gordon winless on the season, a DNF tonight here in Darlington, and now it's Robbie Gordon leading the way into turn 3, coming to the final lap of this race. As for myself, trying to make my way back forward, we're stuck on the top, so we just got to roll with it now to the outside of the 97 of Kurt Busch. White flag is waving here from Darlington Raceway, and Robbie Gordon continues to lead now over the number 9 and the number 20 of Tony Stewart now, and actually Tony Stewart's into P2. He's gotten clear of the 9 of Robbie Gordon now as we roll through 1 and 2 one final time, continuing to carry this momentum, and hit the bump again that brought out the caution a few moments ago, but this time I was kind of more prepared for it, and we have a chance to get maybe P18 into turn 3, but the focus is on up front. Robbie Gordon, pressure from Tony Stewart, but he's gonna hang on. Robbie Gordon, career win number 2 from the Southern 500. Robbie Gordon takes the checkered flag to the line. I just barely got beat out by Dave Blaney there by a few centimeters, as it's gonna be Elliott and Park and Jr. the rest of the top 5. And how about Johnny Benson cracking into the top 10 here from Darlington as well, as you see the rest of your finishing order on your screen. A really disappointing ending there because we should have been top 10 and we ended up like 18th. So not what I wanted. A couple of DNFs between Tony Raines and Jeff Gordon. Last episode winner in Atlanta. Sterling Marlin way down the order. Jeff Gordon goes from leading the points from a DNF to down to P9. As Robbie Gordon, what a season it has been for the number 31 driver. A win puts him now in the championship lead over Jimmy Johnson and Tony Stewart, the defending champion there in P3. That does it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching and have a great day.